Hello guys! I know that a lot of you thinks the Artisan's Acuity shuffle is expensive, that it is hard, but in this video I am going to prove you wrong. If you do the Artisan's Acuity shuffle in the correct way, you can even sometimes make gold from doing it, but it kinda depends a little bit on the market. But today I'm going to show you a step-by-step easy guide on how you can do it and limit the costs and even sometimes make a profit from it. Make sure you listen carefully throughout the video and watch all the way to the end so that you know every step that you have to do to make this as good as possible. And some steps is even crucial. If you miss them, you won't be able to get any Artisan's Acuity. Before we get started, you should definitely get the add-on week aura, and you should get the week aura that shows you what reliable knowledge points you can get this current week. This one will be linked in the description, of course, so you can find it there. This is really OP. You can find all of the knowledge points that you are able to get this current week here, and you can just left click it and see basically where you can get it, and it's so insane. So go ahead and get that and we can get started. Okay, just to be clear, we are starting out with 50,000 gold in our bag, just so we can see later actually how much we spent and how much we earned on this. Okay, so the first step is obviously going to be to go and train enchanting, so we're gonna do that right away. Now in the week aura we will see everything that we can get in enchanting, which is really good. What we need to do now is find the cheapest possible green profession equipment. Either you can craft them yourself if you have the option, otherwise I will show you how to find the cheapest ones right now. So to find the cheapest ones, you should head to the website, the Undermine Exchange. This is obviously linked in the description as well. It's really simple. Don't get afraid from this, guys. It's really simple. Just go search for profession equipment, search for the War Within, and we can see what we find here. So what we can see is that the cheapest enchanter shard right now is going to be on the server Toad's Watch, so we can go there and find it for 169 gold. We can do this for all of the equipment here, is that we can actually see where the cheapest ones are, so we can get them for a good price. This will allow us to spend as little gold as possible doing the shuffle, but this is totally up to you if you want to do this step or not. But I wouldn't be spending too much gold on the green ones, so if you're gonna get them, probably go and get them on a cheap server, because if you spend too much on it, it's going to cost you too much to actually be worth it for them to actually pay themselves back. But it looks like the Toad's Watch is the cheapest server. I'm not sure what server that is, but I'll head there and buy myself some equipment. Okay, so on this server we managed to find the hat for 69 gold, which is really cheap, so that's a no-brainer to get that one. We can also get the enchanter's shard here for the cheapest possible price, so that will only be 169 gold as well. And in terms of the tool, we can find the 564 resourcefulness one for 219 gold here. This is probably not the cheapest one, but I'm gonna get this either way because it's cheap enough. So we have spent basically 457 gold here, so I will deduct that from our other character. Just collect your equipment and put it back into the war bank, and you can claim it on your other character. There we go. Okay, so I'm now withdrawing them from the war bank here, and I'm also depositing the 457 gold that we spent on them, so we deduct that from our starting balance. So basically now we have a level 1 enchanter here with 3 green tools. The next step that we are going to do is actually we're going to buy some stuff. We are going to buy 200 storm dust. We are going to buy 40 gleaming shards. We are going to buy 23 leyline residue. We're going to buy 23 viridescent spores. We're going to buy 1 codified greenwood. So after buying the items that we did, we are actually going to gleaming shatter 40 of the gleaming shards that we bought. This will increase our skill a little bit, and this is what we need to do right now to be able to unlock our weekly quest. I don't know why I am able to pick up my weekly quest before hitting skill 25 now. Maybe it is because I have my tools, I'm not sure, but usually you need skill 25 to be able to pick up the quest. So after reaching skill 23 from gleaming shattering, you can pick up the quest. Also, you can train yourself. We are going to need armored avoidance, and we are also going to need silken avoidments. We're going to craft 1 of each. Let's buy a couple of enchanting vellums, then we will do 2 of those and preferably reach skill 25, which we did. Amazing. Otherwise we just need to hit skill 25. At skill 25 I recommend you to do the weekly quest. This will differ a little bit depending on which week it is, but right now for me it is 10 gleaming shards. So just buy the items that you need to do the quest. For me that would be 10 gleaming shards rank 1, so I'm going to buy them, and I am actually going to immediately turn in the quest. So right now we should be sitting at 25 skill in enchanting, and now we have to do one crucial step that is going to be very, very mandatory, and that is to go out and dig some dirt. This is a step that you cannot skip, but let's go ahead and do some dirt digging. So with dirt digging, what I mean is actually looting this disturbed dirt. They can be found all over the War Within zones, but I usually go to Ringing Deeps, in the top of Ringing Deeps here, searching for them. And what you're after now is 2 items, and that is Powdered Fulgurance and Crystalline Repository. Those are the 2 weekly drops that you can get from the dirt in enchanting, and you need those to be able to unlock the catch-up knowledge points, which are the things that is going to grant us all of the Acuity. So this step is crucial. If you do not get both of those and actually use them, you won't be able to continue, and you won't be able to get any Artisan's Acuity from this. So this is one crucial step, and it can be really boring because sometimes it takes some time for them to drop, which can be sucky, but it's just to do it. Okay, so we actually got our first one, Powdered Fulgurance, so we make sure to learn that, and now we just need to get the Crystalline Repository. Okay, so finally a lot of dirt has been digging, but I finally got the Crystalline Repository, which is nice. So make sure, guys, that you use both of them that was in your bag or like that you have digged up. Also make sure to use the one that you got from the weekly quest. But now let's head back to Dornogal, because rest of the things we can actually do from Dornogal, because I'm just gonna vendor all of the stuff that I got from there from digging. But now the next step is actually going to buy a lot of Darkmoon cards that we can assemble to Darkmoon decks to get all of our catch-up knowledge. However, this can depend on which week you do this. This is a character that hasn't done any enchanting shuffle yet, and I can currently get 311 catch-up knowledge points. This 311 catch-up points will actually grant me like 600-ish Artisan's Acuity by itself. Other than that, we need to buy 311 Darkmoon decks. And actually doing this, what I usually do is I search for Darkmoon in current expansion, and I check what the name of them is because I keep forgetting. Then I go and search for Ascension, for example. It's the cheapest deck. Then I can check what all of the cards are worth. The Ascension was a bit more expensive, but the Vivacity seems kind of fine. So what I do then is I buy a lot of those. We needed to have 311 of them for the catch up, and then we need to actually disenchant 6 more to get the 5 regular weekly knowledge point things and the big weekly one. So we need 6 plus 311. So we are going to buy 317 of each of the cards for the decks. So this is the part that would actually cost you some gold, but you will make back the gold. We buy 317 of each of them. It might seem like a lot, but it really is a lot as well. This is because enchanting is actually stacking up every week, giving you the option to get more and more knowledge points every week. So that is why we are up to so many right now, and it will just keep on stacking probably forever until this expansion ends, if Blizzard doesn't change anything. But this is how it looks now. But now after buying all of them, get them in your bag. Now to get the decks which you can disenchant, you just have to basically right click it. You can drag it out into an auction bar as well and use a hotkey if that is what you want. But what we want to do now is basically just make 6 of the Darkmoon decks. After making the 6 decks, or before, you can just unlock the specialization, ephemerals, enrichments, and equipments as well. I forgot that, but let's go ahead and learn this one. In this spec, what you are going to want to do here is that you are going to want to put 5 points into the first node, and then you want to unlock the decoration node right here. Basically, you will get some new stuff that you can craft. You will get a lot of new recipes here, which will reward you with Artisan's Acuity and knowledge points, and this is going to be very important to do this in the correct order actually. So we are going to go ahead and craft all of the ones that we just got here from the Gleeful Glamour, because they will give us the first craft bonus, which will give us KP and Artisan's Acuity. Why I'm avoiding all of the other first crafts is basically they won't give us any Acuity, so they are not really needed to do. It will just cost you unnecessary gold. After doing the first first craft glamours, you're gonna wanna put more points in here because you are gonna wanna reach this node over here. So you will put total 15 points in here. When you do this, you will get more and more recipes to get more and more acuity and knowledge points. So just keep crafting the glamours until you reach that 15 knowledge points in that node. Okay, so now we have actually gotten 15 points in here, and we have done all of the first crafts that we have for our glamours, which is nice. What we can go ahead and do now is just vendor them if they take up a lot of bag space, which they do. So just go ahead and vendor them because they are useless and I probably won't be selling at the auction house. You can try, but I won't bother with that at least. So now we have our KP in here and we have done a lot of first craft already, guys. We are getting a lot of acuity. I will summarize in the end how much acuity we have made, but it should be around 2000-ish. After this, we are going to want to learn the enchanted spearwood wand from the trainer. This one, if you were unlucky as me, you were only getting 46 skill, which is unfortunate, but let's craft one enchanted spearwood. You could be at 47 and then you would have 50 in skill, but that doesn't really matter. We can fix that. Learn the recipe glimmering versatility. Craft one of them if you are missing skill. So after reaching 50 skill, we are actually going to continue crafting 8 of the glimmering versatility enchant. Then you should learn Whisper of Silken Speed from the trainer. I accidentally learned armored speed, but that's fine. Craft one of this. Then you want to learn the armored leech one from the trainer, and we are about to craft 14 of this. If you don't have any more scrolls like I did, just buy some more. Those doesn't really cost anything, so buy them. Let's do the 14 armored leech. You can stop if you reach skill 70, by the way. You don't have to continue to skill more than that, but that's all fine. When we have done this part, we are going to want to learn the specialization designated disenchanter. After learning the designated disenchanter, you can just spam your points here, how many points you now have. Boom, because we are going to want to learn that. Then you can open the epic escalations node. After doing this, you can go ahead and disenchant the enchanted spearwood wand that we got before. Also, we are going to vendor all of the glamours if you didn't do that earlier, and you can just vendor all of the rank 1 enchants as well because they're basically useless and would be very hard to sell. After doing this, you should try to get as much space in your bag as possible. I don't have a lot of space now. I will go and put it in my bank for now, but make as much space as you can in your bag after you have made some bag space. So what you can do now, if you really want to optimize this, is you can disenchant one deck. You can learn, take the knowledge point, fill it in, and you can do this for the 6 ones that we have here, because you will be dropping one of the knowledge points item every time you disenchant a deck now. Let's do those 6. Okay, so when you have done the 6th one, you will get this one rewarding you for extra knowledge points. So just add those as well. Now what you will see is that the shimmering dust here in your weak aura has turned green. It was red before. What this means is that you are now eligible to get the catch-up knowledge points when disenchanting. And why we are doing the Darkmoon decks is simply because they are a 100% chance of dropping the shimmering dust. If you were be doing like green items or blue items, they have a much lower drop rate. The purple items epics has 100%, so that is why we do them, and we will actually get some epic items back, which is really nice. What you can do now, and this we probably should have done before if you wanted to, not everybody has this, but most people probably has this, is you have the reputation to get the 10 knowledge points from the quartermaster in Dornigal. It costs nothing. It basically costs 50 acuity, but you get 50 acuity back when you use it. This will give us 10 knowledge points. If we get this, we get some more knowledge points, and those knowledge points that we get will actually help us save gold when we are disenchanting. I get this one now for 10 extra KP. If you don't have this, it's not the word, like it's not gonna matter at all basically, but just put so you get 30 points into this one. You can unlock this, doesn't really matter, but then we are starting to build up our epic escalations with points. What we can do now is basically just unlocking the everlasting enchantments, and we can go ahead and make some more decks because we are going to want to fill out these epic escalation nodes next. Then we will do some other stuff before we continue disenchanting, but our goal now is to fill up this tree, and to do that in total we have to disenchant 28 decks. If you really want to optimize it, as I said, then go ahead and disenchant one each and put in one knowledge points. If you don't want to do like that hardcore, just disenchant a few at a time and then actually put your points in. But the goal is to hitting 30 of 30 points in this epic here. Also, I have a one-click disenchant macro that I will be linking in the description as well, of course. So all you have to do then is press the macro and you will be disenchanting. So just know that now you are going to get the shimmering dusts in your bag that you will have to learn to get the knowledge points. So that is where you will getting your knowledge points and your acuity now. If you haven't done all of the steps before with getting the dirt treasures, with getting the weekly quest treasure and everything that you have to do to unlock this shimmering dust, if this is not green here, you have done something wrong. Then go back, look and see what you have missed. But if this is green, you're all good to go. So let's disenchant a few and max this tree here so we can actually get going with the next step. Why we are doing this, by the way, filling out the trees like this, is because it gives us a lot of skill and that makes us available to drop higher materials when disenchanting. As you can see, I've started to get some rank 2s now, and that is like the point. I even got a rank 3 now. If we didn't like add any knowledge points here, we would not be getting any of the higher quality mats, and then we wouldn't be getting as much back as we want. So after hitting this node here, you will start to realize that you can actually get mats when disenchanting the epic stuff. So you will get some different mats depending on how lucky you are. Getting the crystalline powder is the worst one, sadly, but you can get some nice stuff like leyline residue and stuff like that. So that is awesome. Okay, so now we filled it out and we are basically maxed in terms of what we can get from disenchanting the decks, which is nice, but we are only at 70 skill so far in enchanting, so we are going to fix that now as well. So what we want to do now is we want to combine 20 more decks so we can actually disenchant them to get 20 more knowledge points before we can unlock the next node that we need to be able to skill up our enchanting. So after combining 20 decks, let's disenchant them. Okay, so after disenchanting the 20 more decks, you're gonna want to come into everlasting enchantments and you're gonna want to put 5 skill into everlasting enchantments. So after unlocking 5 points in everlasting enchantments, you will have to pick one of the 3 different side nodes here to unlock a enchant that you will be able to do to skill up. I will pick the cursed haste one because that's the one I prefer. You can check what you prefer and like what can make you the most gold back. I'm not sure if the cursed haste is back. I just like this one, so I go with it. So what we want to do now, when we have unlocked our enchant, we are going to want to craft 3 of it so we reach 76 skill. So buy enough mats to be able to make it 3 times. After you have done that 3 times, you can unlock the supplementary shattering, because why not? We might as well do that for now. The next step that we are going to do now is going to be a bit time consuming because we are going to need to combine all of the decks and disenchant all of them. 263 of them for me takes a little bit of time. This is probably the most boring part that you have to do, but this is the part where your acuity actually starts to go bananas as well, so it's really nice. But just go ahead and craft all of your decks and disenchant all of them. Okay, so when you are finally done disenchanting, go ahead and learn all of your shimmering dusts. This will grant you a lot of knowledge points and a lot of acuity. However, we're not done yet, but very soon, because we need to realize our gold and see how much gold this actually cost us or made us. We will see in a second, but go ahead and learn all of your knowledge points first. Okay, so when you have finally learned all of your shimmering dust, what you need to do now is go into your enchanting once again, go to the supplementary shattering tab, and now you will put some knowledge points in here. You will put 30 points into this node, you will put 30 points into this node. Like, this gives us so much knowledge points, it's just insane. And you put 30 points into this node like this. You can just unlock that, but we're not putting points in the multi-crafting, not right now at least. Then what we need to do is basically just keep on filling out the nodes that we already started like this. So you're gonna have a lot of remaining knowledge points now where you can spend wherever you want, because the last step that we're going to do is use the concentration that we have in the profession before we start posting everything that we got on the auction house. So if you want to start crafting some other craft here, you can do that. I'm not sure. I will probably just go and put my points into this one as well and into the crystal radiance. Now I'm not sure which one is going to be more profitable here. We'll see, but you have so much points, so you can pretty much just pick and choose whatever you want to put your points into. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like this right now. Now for the last part, where we are going to craft whatever we can to make some gold with our concentration that we have. We are going to figure out like what is the best thing to craft. I think it's not going to matter that much, but make sure you apply your shatter essence buff by shattering a crystalline powder. This is really important now when you're doing this last step. Okay, so I picked the crystalline radiance, so I will be able to do 2 craft of this one. I might be able to do 1 more craft of another one after, but we will basically buy the required mats for this now. Okay, so when you have found the craft that you want to do with your concentration, go ahead and do that. Just make sure that you did shatter essence so you got the buff still, so that you have larger chance to proc the resourcefulness procs. Okay, so I crafted 2 of the crystalline radiance. I have 232 concentration left. If you want to min max it, you can probably spend that some other way as well. Now we are going to post the things that we have on the auction house and see how much that value actually ends up to be. Okay, so after doing this, we basically added up with a 7 to 8k loss, and that is not including the stuff that we got from the dirt, by the way, guys. So if I were to include those stuff, we have gotten a way lesser loss as well, maybe 5k, but 5k gold for getting this much acuity and basically getting a full setup enchanting character, which you can use for a concentration build and just from here make passive gold every day, or you can use it for whatever you want, like to start crafting with it, or you can just drop it, go to another profession and basically max that out with full blue tools, all of the acuity books and everything you need. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you now realize that it is not expensive to do the acuity shuffle anymore if you do it in the correct way. I think that if you do this sometimes, this is going to be profitable and sometimes it will be a slight loss. It's a little bit RNG based as well, depending on what you get from the dirt, depending on what the prices is at the moment, etc. I think when you start to get more and more decks to disenchant, you should probably end up with more and more profit. However, it takes more time, of course. But I hope you guys liked the video. Please leave a like on it if you liked it, subscribe to the channel, comment something nice, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.